If hunger and cravings weren't such a big issue in our society today, then everyone would be lean and we wouldn't have such a fat epidemic. Everyone knows that they need to eat less food. Everyone knows that they need to eat in a calorie deficit, but they're not doing it. Why? Because of hunger, because of cravings, because of convenience. And so what I want to do today is I want to share my 5 best strategies to overcome your hunger problems, to overcome your craving problems once and for all while you are on a weight loss journey. I've been coaching individuals over the last 6 years, and I've been able to because of convenience in people. And most of them, their goal is fat loss. And when you're in a fat loss phase, hunger and cravings are a very normal part of this journey. And if you don't know how to attack it properly, you will fail on your diet. It's just a matter of time. And so everyone knows what a calorie deficit is. And this is why I actually believe that eating in a calorie deficit is not good advice to be preaching. Because if you didn't know what a calorie deficit was, then you wouldn't be doing it. And everybody in the world knows that if they need to lose weight, they need to eat less food. But why is no one doing it? How come people can't grasp this concept? Because they don't know how to manage it. They don't know how to manage normal life. They don't know how to manage eating out on the weekends. They don't know how to manage stress. They don't know how to manage their relationship with food. And so what I like to talk about and what I like to dive into is the things deeper than just eat in a calorie deficit, because everyone knows that's what they need to do. So when it comes to hunger, the first thing you need to understand if you're on any type of fat loss or weight loss journey is this. Hunger is a very normal part of your fat loss journey. Matter of fact, if you're not hungry when you're in a fat loss phase, when you're in a weight loss phase, when you're trying to get rid of your belly fat, for me as a coach, that's actually a problem. If you come to me and you're like, hey Trent, I'm not hungry at all day long, I'm like, okay, then we probably need to switch something. Because all hunger is your body sending your mind signals, hey, we need more food. It's saying, hey, I'm not eating enough food. And guess what a calorie deficit is? A calorie deficit is your body being deficient in calories. So if I'm deficient in calories, my body's gonna do something about that. It's gonna say, hey, you need to eat more food and we need to change something up here. You're eating less calories than your body's used to. You're eating less calories than your body's burning. So this is actually an automatic response from your body to your brain. Tell yourself that hunger is a good sign. It's not a bad thing. If you're hungry, that means you're doing the right thing. When you eat in a calorie deficit, you will be hungry. And so what happens is a lot of you are literally squirming every time you feel hungry and you're like, oh, I'm hungry. I need to change it. I need to eat. Like, I can't get over myself. Understand that hunger is normal. And sometimes it helps when you understand what hunger actually is, because all hunger is your body releasing a hormone called ghrelin. And so ghrelin is the hunger hormone in your body. And sometimes what happens is your body releases ghrelin and the ghrelin goes down. A lot of the times when you get hungry, you believe and you think you're like, oh, I'm just going to get hungrier and hungrier and hungrier. But what happens oftentimes, ghrelin spikes and then ghrelin comes down. So you'll notice that there's periods in your day where you are hungrier than others. So for me, during my day, the hungriest portion of my day typically is the afternoon. And so what I've done is I've actually structured my eating and I've structured my meals and my macros to help me not be as hungry in the afternoon. If you find yourself getting more hungrier later at night, aka your ghrelin is released more, then okay, maybe you need to make some adjustments to have more calories during that time instead of trying to fight off and have willpower that you're not hungry, because it's not going to work. But sometimes when you understand like, hey, physiologically, when I'm hungry, number one, it's good for me because that's my goal, is to lose body fat right now. So okay, cool, this is a good sign. That helps. The second thing is understanding, okay, this is my body releasing a natural hormone in my body called ghrelin. And when ghrelin is released, ghrelin typically goes away. That's why if you've ever done some type of prolonged fast, you'll notice that your hunger will spike. And anytime I do this, I'm like, oh, okay, my ghrelin's up. I just have to hold on for, let's say, 30 minutes or so, or push through with a couple of concepts I'll talk about later. And then eventually it slows off. So ghrelin comes in waves. So you're not going to just be constantly hungry all the time. It hit peaks and it starts to go down. The second thing you need to do if you struggle with hunger and you never want to struggle with it ever again is you need to avoid dieting too hard and too long. So many of you are so focused on losing weight so quickly, so rapidly, and for such a long time that you burn yourself out. Most people fail at dieting because they're just trying to lose weight too fast. What are you in such a rush for? Ask yourself that question. What is the rush for losing your next 30 pounds? Just so you can hit a certain number by a certain date? Because I'll tell you this right now, the journey you're on is not a sprint, it's a marathon. And the person who's going to be successful in this journey is the one who understands that. They're not trying to lose 20 pounds in the next 30 days. They're not trying to slash their calories super low, eat literally 1,000 calories a day just so they could lose weight. Like, this person is in it for the long run. And I'll tell you this right now, if you lost 1 pound per week for the next 52 weeks, you would lose over 50 pounds in 1 year. 50 pounds in 1 year. But you're like, oh, I only lost a pound this week. Or you're like, oh, my weight didn't change this week. And you start to panic and stress and you make drastic measures to change it. What are you in such a rush for? Like, when you take the pressure off of yourself and you're okay with losing 1 pound per week, or you're okay with maybe not losing weight every single week, you have peace with it and you actually start to get better results. You get faster results. And so the leaner you get, the hungrier you will get as well. And so as you start to cut, maybe at the beginning, of your weight loss phase, it was easy. The first 10 pounds were a piece of cake, no pun intended. But then the next 10 pounds, that's when it gets difficult. You're like, oh man, I'm starving. My stomach is growling. I can literally hear it audibly. What's going on? You're gonna get hungrier the leaner you get, the more body fat you lose. And as a coach, one of my primary goals when I'm building meal plans, when I'm building macros, I'm like, how can I help this person eat as much food as possible while they're losing weight? The goal should be eat as much food as you humanly can while losing weight on a sustainable way. And so if you can lose weight eating 2,800 calories, eating 2,600 calories, perfect. That's what I love to see. I'm not trying to have someone slash calories, eat 1,200 calories, and then they lose 10 pounds in the first month and then they burn out. That's what most people do. It's like, hey, let's eat a good amount of food so you feel good, you feel amazing, you have energy, you're not, craving all these things all the time, and you're able to do it sustainably over time. And so another thing I like to do is I don't like to cut for too long. So typically when I put people in weight loss phases, I will put them in a weight loss phase for, let's say, maybe 3 to 4 months, depending on how much weight they need to lose. A good rule of thumb is for every 10 to 15% of your body fat that you lose, you should consider switching your phase to a maintenance phase. Nobody knows about this and nobody talks about this. You should not always be in a weight loss phase. You're always trying to cut weight all the time, and you're always in a calorie deficit, and you're wondering why you're hungry all the time. You're wondering why your cravings are through the roof. It's because you're always trying to lose weight. So if you shoot to lose 10 to 15% of your overall body weight, so let's say, for example, you start at 200 pounds. So you lose your first 20 pounds, which is 10% of your body weight. And then after we lose the 20 pounds, we're going to switch phases. We're going to go into a maintenance phase. We're going to chill for a little bit. We're going to build some lean muscle. We're going to boost your metabolism up. We're going to get your energy up. We're going to get your hormones good. Then we're going to go back into another fat loss phase. What you do is you just cut and cut and cut and try to lose weight, and then you fail and you mess up and you go back into it, and you're in this vicious cycle and you never get the results you want. Stop doing that. The third thing you need to focus on, if you want to crush your hunger and crush your cravings for good, is you need to focus on diet quality. And here's what I mean by this: the quality of the foods you're eating. And if you ate 2,000 calories of McDonald's every single day, and that was you in a calorie deficit, guess what? You're still gonna lose the same amount of weight as eating 2,000 calories of chicken and broccoli diet. Isn't that crazy? So 2,000 calories is 2,000 calories, regardless of the quality of food. And I know a lot of people are gonna be like, that's impossible, you can't do that. Yes, you can. If you actually ate 2,000 calories of McDonald's and that was a calorie deficit, you will lose weight. If you ate 1,500 calories of Chick-fil-A every single day and that's literally all you ate, you would lose weight. Now, that's true on paper, but in reality, that's real difficult to do, and you're not gonna be able to sustain that, right? Because we know how important diet quality is. We know how important the foods you're eating are. And so when you eat a diet that is calorie dense, meaning you eat a diet that is filled with Chick-fil-A, filled with In-N-Out, filled with Panda Express, like not good nutrient dense foods, you're not gonna be full for long. You know the feeling when you eat one scoop of peanut butter and you're super hungry after. That is because it is very calorie dense. So there's two different types of foods. We have calorie dense foods, things like peanut butter, olive oil, French fries, milkshakes, foods that have a lot of calories in a little amount. And then we have nutrient dense foods. So think about things like eggs, egg whites, Greek yogurt, broccoli, chicken breast, steak, nutrient dense foods. You could eat more of these foods than more of these foods. And so the goal of a flexible diet, and this is one of the things I practice when I'm building meal plans and macros and things like that, is eating a diet that consists of 90% nutrient dense foods and a diet that consists of 10% calorie dense food, aka fun foods or aka craving food. And so when your diet consists of this, it really helps your hunger tremendously because I'm able to eat more of the nutrient dense foods, and the nutrients typically fill you up more because your body feels satisfied, satiated. And so here's a hunger checklist that I like to go through. When I feel hungry or when my clients feel hungry, I'm like, this is exactly what you need to do. The first thing you need to do when you feel hungry is you need to drink a glass of water. Sometimes when you're hungry, it's your body actually telling you that you're thirsty. So a lot of the times in your body, your brain doesn't really know the difference between being thirsty and being hungry. So your body might send your brain signals that you're thirsty, but you interpret it as hungry. So if you're hungry outside of your normal caloric window, outside of the normal meals you're eating, if you drink 8 ounces of water, a lot of the times that will curb your hunger, at least momentarily. Let's say that doesn't work. Let's say you drink your 8 ounces of water and you're still starving after you do that. The next thing that I would do is instead of grabbing the chips, instead of grabbing the candy, instead of grabbing the things you know you shouldn't be eating, I would go for a pure protein option, or at least ask yourself if you can eat pure protein. So you're like, okay, can I eat a straight up chicken breast, or can I eat straight up eggs and egg white? And if the answer is no, it's probably just a craving. And so you go to that second. The third thing you go to, let's say you go to your water, you go to your protein, the third thing you go through on the checklist is gonna be fruit. Okay, can I eat a legit apple right now? Like, would that fill me up? Sometimes the answer is yes. So now I do know it's actual hunger, not just my craving. If the answer is no, if you're like, apple's not gonna fill me up, or blueberries aren't gonna fill me up, then you're probably just struggling with cravings, which is okay, and that will pass. The next thing, let's say you go to the protein, you go to the water, you go to the fruit, but you're still hungry. You're like, what do I do? Now I go for whole foods, nutrient dense food. All right. So maybe I'll eat something like, whole wheat bread or something that's going to give me that fiber I need or some type of nutrient. Now, if I notice that something's still going on, I will go for a walk. So I got my water, I got my protein, I got my fruit, I got my whole foods meal. Now I go for a walk. Sometimes when you're hungry, you're just bored, right? You're just bored. And so if you go for a walk or if you get yourself busy, a lot of times your brain will just forget about the hunger you had in the first place. Now, if you're noticing you're hungry all day long while you're in a dieting phase, then you probably aren't getting enough fiber in your diet. And this is something that no one talks about. So you should be aiming for a solid 14 grams of fiber per 1,000 calories. And so what that means is if you're eating a diet that consists of 2,000 calories, the goal should be eating about 28 grams of fiber for that 2,000 calories. If you have a diet that's 3,000 calories, which if that's you, congratulations, that's a lot, then you should be shooting for 42 grams of fiber. When you eat more fiber, it not only helps with your digestion, but it keeps you very full. And so making sure you have fiber throughout the day is a massive way to curb your hunger and to curb your craving. And so the first thing that we need to do is we need to accept hunger for what it is. The second thing we need to do is we need to avoid dieting too long and too hard. The third thing we need to do is we need to fix our diet quality. And the fourth thing we need to do is we need to actually practice mindful eating. You're not doing it. You're not mindfully eating. And here's what mindful eating is. Mindful eating is when I sit down to eat, I eat. I'm not scrolling social media. I'm not checking my email. I'm not watching Netflix. I'm not, responding to text messages. I'm not talking on the phone. I'm not working. Like when you eat, you eat. And this is hard for a lot of people. So my challenge for you is the next time you eat, instead of scarfing your food down and trying to get to the next thing you're doing, how about you take your time eating and take your time chewing? This is hard for a lot of people. Take your time eating, take your time chewing, and only eat when you eat. When you do this, you're actually going to enjoy and you're going to feel a lot more satisfied with the foods you're eating. One of the reasons you're hungry all the time and you have all these cravings is because you're not actually enjoying the food you're eating. You got these cravings come up and then you sit down and scarf food that you are craving while you're talking on the phone, while you're doing the dishes, while you're doing a million different things. Stop doing that. And then the last thing that you need to focus on, number 5, you just need to get some discipline. Like, guess what? When your body is hungry, that is a sign you are losing fat. You are in the right direction. So one of the tricks that I tell myself mentally is when I'm hungry, I'm like, hey, good job, Trent. You're doing what you're supposed to do. You are in a weight loss phase. You are in a fat loss phase. Keep it going. Push through. This is the exact moment that people in your exact situation crumble and fold. So all you have to do is hold on to the hunger for a little bit after you did all the things we just talked about. You're still hungry. Sometimes you just got to be like, I'm good. I got the discipline. I don't need to eat. My body is not in control of what I'm doing. Because when you enter into the world of body transformation, now I'm doing something different than what my body is telling me to do. Your body is telling you need to rest, but you got to go to the gym and do your cardio. Your body is telling you, oh, I'm too sore to work out, but you know you got to go and work out. Your body is telling you, oh, you need to eat more food, but you know you hit your macros already for the day. This, my friends, is body transformation. Are you willing to go against the signals your body's telling you? Are you willing to do the work to push through to the next level of your phase? Because sometimes weight loss and fat loss is difficult. Sometimes you have cravings and you got to say no. You got to say, no, shut up. Like, I'm not going to listen to you. And that's what it takes. And a lot of the times it's a momentary thing and it's a temporary decision you have to make that will make a huge difference. And the more times you do it, the more disciplined you get. So the more times you tell your body no, the more bulletproof you get in your discipline. So for me, I'm at a point now where my body's still sending me signals that it's hungry. And I say, I've overcome this so many times. I'm good. Yeah, I'm hungry. Yeah, I'm craving pizza. Yeah, I'm craving Chick-fil-A. Yeah, I'm craving pasta. Yeah, I'm craving this. Yeah, I'm craving candy. But I know I have a history of saying no to my cravings and my cravings don't control me. So it's not that your cravings ever go away. They will minimize, but they still will be there. The thing that changes though is your level of discipline, your ability to withstand those cravings because you've done it over and over and over and over again. Now, I hope you got some value from this video. And if you did, make sure you subscribe for all future videos because the majority of you are not subscribed. And so if you want to check out more of my content on losing body fat, building lean muscle, and transforming your body, subscribe below and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.